G'day viewers, have you heard of the Fyre Music Festival? If you haven't, it's fucking hilarious. I mean, if you have heard of it, I also assume you realise that it's fucking hilarious. You just don't need me to tell you about it. If you haven't heard of it, it was supposed to be this huge luxury music festival backed by old school rapper Ja Rule, among other people. And these little rich kids who were going to it, they were paying up to like $12,000, $15,000 for the combination of the ticket and the accommodation and the luxury setting they were supposed to have in the Bahamas. Now, first, the idea of spending that much on a music festival headlined by Blink-182 is fucking offensive on any level. But when you take into account that they were paying it to go to a remote island that they knew nothing about, shows a little bit of lack of judgment, really. It's not one of those things that was like, people with money aren't the elite, better than you and me. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they're either just lucky or someone in their bloodline was really ruthless and exploited people to get lots of money. The old rich kids of Instagram set, not such bright sparks as it turned out, because a bunch of them went to this location, sight unseen, forked over an enormous amount of money, and here's the funny bit that I'm sure you've seen coming. It was a disaster. It didn't happen. In fact, there was nothing there. Now, people who were working on it, some of whom who've publicised what happened, they knew this was just not going to happen. And in fact, up to 2 months before the event, some people who were working on it told the organisers, this isn't possible. You cannot pull this together. There's nothing. It's like a gravel pit on a friggin' island, and you've promised people all this luxury. It literally cannot happen. You should say, well, actually, we're going to roll all this over. It's going to happen in 2018, not 2017. And the people behind it went, no, let's take their money. Yeah, no, we can pull it together. See, and this isn't even about organising a festival. But if you talk to people who organise festivals, they will tell you how much time and money is required to do something on this scale. You can't just do this on a whim. But it's not even about a festival. It's just about construction. Talk to anyone in construction about, hey, if you were going to build this little temporary accommodations for, hundreds to thousands of people, and you were going to classify it as luxury, how much time and effort is required on with building it in an incredibly remote location as well? Basically, you'd have to be well underway at minimum 6 months before the live date. Minimum. If you were at all sensible, you'd start construction a year before the event. But these guys, 2 months out, had not even started construction. So people got there, and they were just dumped. They were just like, hey, you're on there. And there were these funny little dome tents. That was their luxury accommodation. Oh, they couldn't find any staff most of the time. You know why? Because most of the staff didn't go. Half of them were laid off in the lead up because there was no more money to pay them. The other half, apparently, they were working from Miami and were going to fly to the Bahamas, but they got the word just before, it's not going to happen. Don't go to the Bahamas. You'll be trapped there with a bunch of angry rich kids. So the staff wasn't there. Oh, and the gourmet food. I loved the pictures of the gourmet food. It was basically a sandwich with slices of processed cheese and a bit of salad on the side. That was their gourmet food. And look, honestly, to me, the only thing funnier than these idiot rich kids having their money taken off them is how pissed off they're getting that everyone who's not an obnoxious rich shithead is laughing at them for the fucking morons they are. They get really pissed. No, there was this brilliant social media person saying, oh, you're all laughing at rich kids, but people are fainting. Fainting. Oh my God. I'm not saying I wouldn't give a shit if you all fucking died, because that would be mean and cruel. And you all know me, I'm not mean and cruel. I'm a kind, loving, gentle person who has not started to develop a fantasy about getting even more rich people onto remote islands where they have no hope of escape. See, that was the suggestion. That was my favourite response to the whole thing I saw online. It's basically, you want the revolution, kids. Hey, the Occupy crowd, the resist crowd, protests, that doesn't work. They don't give a shit. The 1% doesn't give a shit. But apparently it's incredibly easy to get them to volunteer and give you money for the privilege of being taken to a far distant location where they can't escape and nobody can help them. Now, I'm not saying take all the obnoxious exploiters off to a remote location and kill them. I'm just saying they apparently can't defend against that.